Minnesota lawmakers have reached an agreement on some aspects of a public safety bill involving police reform. And a West Fargo teen is being memorialized 2 years after his death. Plus, the Better Business Bureau is sending a warning of caution to those looking to donate to families of victims of the Surfside condo collapse. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I am Nashay Taylor. A vehicle caught on fire at a travel center in Polk County this evening around 5 p.m. The Polk County Sheriff's Office stated a call came in about a 2010 Dodge Challenger burning at the Win E. Mack Travel Center. The driver of the vehicle noticed the area of the trunk was smoking and on fire. 2 Minnesota State Patrol troopers were at the travel center at the time of the vehicle caught on fire. The troopers assisted the driver of the car, with putting the fire out. It is believed the fire was due to a mechanical issue. No injuries were reported. Meanwhile, a 2-vehicle crash involving a pickup truck and a motorcycle caused traffic to back up on Highway 10 in Audubon near mile marker 38 around 3 p.m. this afternoon. Authorities say a 2019 Harley-Davidson motorcycle carrying a 65-year-old man and a 60-year-old woman was traveling west in the right lane of Highway 10. A 2016 Ford pickup driven by a 68-year-old man was facing south at a stop sign in the area. The pickup attempted to cross the highway, causing a collision with the motorcycle. Law enforcement did not immediately release details of anyone getting injured. Police say a man is now in jail after a woman was found dead on Friday in a Woodbury home. Woodbury police received a 911 call around 3:45 on Friday from someone saying that a person killed a woman in a home. When police arrived, they found the dead woman inside and several children nearby. Officers say the kids were unaware of what happened. According to a press release, the kids thought the woman left the house with the man. Police said on Saturday morning that a 39-year-old man had been arrested without incident in connection to the case. He has yet to be charged. Meanwhile, top Minnesota lawmakers have reached an agreement on some aspects of a public safety bill after some strong debate over police accountability. The deal was reached late Saturday and following the sentencing of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin for the death of George Floyd. The proposed bill includes provision on regulating the use of no-knock warrants and police misconduct database to help create an early warning system in hopes of keeping bad officers off the streets. The news of Derek Chauvin's 22.5-year sentence was everywhere on Friday, but if you look past the headline, you'll see he's guaranteed to spend 15 years in prison. Here's a look at what you may not know about the sentencing in Minnesota and what it could mean for Chauvin.
The court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months.
Many were satisfied with Derek Chauvin's sentence, including George Floyd's family. Former Hennepin County Chief Public Defender Mary Moriarty says in her experience, though, sentencing doesn't always equal closure for victims and their families. Take Floyd's brother, Terrence, on Friday.
I wanted to know why. What were you thinking? What was going through your head?
What sentences in Minnesota can do are give more certainty than in other states. People convicted of felonies spend at least 2/3 of the sentence in prison.
And they're not going to get good time. They're not going to be released before that time.
That means Chauvin is certain to spend 15 years inside. At that point, he'll be eligible for supervised release, which isn't exactly parole, but similar.
And you are supervised by a supervised release agent who's monitoring you. And there have been conditions imposed, usually when a person's released, that are tailored or supposed to be tailored to that person.
Department of Corrections officials have said that granting offenders supervised release for the final third of their sentence makes it less likely they'll return to prison for committing another crime. Moriarty says something similar, that more prison time doesn't necessarily mean rehabilitation.
It does not make somebody be accountable, and that's an important distinction.
Offenders out on supervised release can be rearrested and sent back to prison if they violate their conditions. West Fargo's Landon Solberg, who battled cancer, is now being memorialized with a special tribute nearly 2 years after his death. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling has the story.
I think he's proud. I think he's really proud, and he'd be super excited for tonight.
The impact of Landon Solberg, the 12-year-old who died in mid-September of 2019, continues to benefit others through the Landon's Light Foundation. And they held the first Landon's Night at the Lights in West Fargo thanks to Epic Management wanting to host the event.
We know that it's Landon who created this and got this momentum going for him, and we feel honored that we've been put in that kind of driver's seat to help continue it on.
At a young age, Landon was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. But despite that hurdle, he was able to find joy and goodness every day.
He was just an incredible boy that everyone that he met, regardless of whether you were 5 or 95, he could make a connection with you.
A statue was also put in place at the Lights in tribute of Landon, a monument for all to see for decades to come.
You go to Shields and you see these icons, these icons of America that have statues in their honor, and you think about how long a statue lasts. I mean, I told Andrew we could come back in 50 years and it's still Landon at the Lights and still hopefully motivating people to do better and be good and live a good life.
The Landon's Light Foundation, since its inception, late 2019, has helped over 70 families. They support children battling medical conditions, a mission that both Andrea and Travis have embarked on as a family.
We've told these families that we serve that it's just as much therapeutic for our hearts as it is for them. We've been in their shoes. We know what they're going through.
And there are talks about the foundation expanding outside of the state. In West Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
The foundation plans to expand to other communities in North Dakota and other states in the Midwest. Tomorrow, a ribbon cutting and grand opening ceremony is being hosted for the Northern Lights mixed-use community complex located on Cheyenne Street in West Fargo. The Northern Lights offers 196 apartments and over 10,000 square feet of commercial space. The community is connected to the Essentia Health Plaza. The event begins at 4 p.m. And today, officials bused family members of the missing to the site of the collapsed condo building in Surfside, Florida. This comes after families expressed frustration with the progress of search and rescue efforts and requested greater access to the site. You can see people board 2 buses that transported them to the location near the collapse. As of today, the death toll sits at 9. More than 150 people remain unaccounted for. And the Better Business Bureau is warning against fraudulent fundraising in the wake of the Surfside, Florida building collapse. The organization is advising people who wish to donate to seek established charities meeting its standards for charity accountability. For those who would rather support a crowdfunding campaign, the Bureau says you can tell a lot by a posting. It advises reading the words carefully and making sure the funds will be used for specific purposes. The organization also says photos are often used without permission, so don't assume money will benefit whoever is pictured in the listing. Former President Donald Trump held a rally in Ohio last night. The campaign-style Save America rally took place at the Lorain County Fairgrounds near Cleveland, Ohio. The event was to support Max Miller, a former White House aide. Miller is challenging Republican Representative Anthony Gonzalez for his Ohio congressional seat. Trump also called out the Biden administration.
He's pushing trillions of dollars in new spending and the largest tax hike in history he's putting onto the American people and American industry. It's going to be devastating. He puts America last. We put America first. It's very simple.
Mr. Trump also lashed out on Anthony Gonzalez, calling him a fake Republican. And meanwhile, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken met with his Israeli counterpart today in Rome. Blinken and Foreign Minister Yair Lapid met as their new governments look to turn the page on former President Trump and former Prime Minister Netanyahu. Their close alliance aggravated partisan divisions within both countries. Lapid started by praising the American-Israeli alliance. For his part, Blinken said Israel should focus on resolving Israeli-Palestinian issues.
The work I hope that can be done to, as you say, offer a more hopeful future for everyone, Palestinians and Israelis alike, with equal measures of opportunity and dignity. is very important from our perspective.
On Iran, Lapid said Israel has serious reservations about the revived nuclear deal being hammered out in Vienna. Later on Valley News Live at 10. AstraZeneca has started a trial for a COVID-19 variant vaccine. But up next, Summers shares how much rain fell in the valley.